One of a Kind with Rob Van Dam is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
One of a Kind with RVD is presented by Get Blitzed, and you can get 15% off your order when you head to get-blitz.com and use promo code RVD. Get 15% off.
As long as you believe that I have a chance that I could beat One Man Gang or Bam Bam Bigelow or Tommy Dreamer or whatever, then boom, I got your support, and that's important in the ring.
All right, I guess that'll do it. Rob, did you want to do RVDology or?
Yeah, you know what? I will talk about a question. We were gonna start answering questions from my YouTube page, which I still am, but right now we got demonetized and trying to figure that out. And so, like, if YouTube Chris isn't posting stuff, I don't know if I care or not. I mean, it's cool to keep it up, but at the same time, dealing with some BS. Anyway, I had two questions. Do I know what the other one was? No, I guess it doesn't really matter because I don't want to talk about both of them right now. But but one of the questions, and I don't have it pulled right now, so I can't tell you who it was or whatever. But I think that this is a good segue into leaving you with a little bit of perspective. So the YouTube comment, it was in response to the video of me and a Mr. Scott Norton, which has gotten reposted for cheap ratings recently by my by my YouTube partners. Anyway, the comment to this said something like, it said, I've heard something about heard a lot of stories about almost fights, but not many actual fights. And I was like, like a thought or something. Mm-hmm. And the way I took that, which I'm not sure exactly, but the way I took that was for the intention behind it was like, RVD can bark, but can he bite? That's the way that's the way that I took it. And either way, even if he didn't mean that, which I feel like he did, I don't remember exactly the way it was worded, but that's the way that I took it. But either way, I just thought that was worth talking about because one, it made me laugh, but two, it also made me realize, like, having the outlet that I have, being professional wrestling and being able to entertain you by being that character, which is an extension of me. When I'm working, dude, I need your credibility or your beliefs in me. I need you to see me with credibility is what I'm trying to say. As long as you believe that I have a chance that I could beat One Man Gang or Bam Bam Bigelow or Tommy Dreamer or whatever, then boom, I got your support, and that's important in the ring. Outside of the ring, I was thinking, like, why would I care, like, really, if somebody thinks I can fight or not? And that's what I wanted to talk about because it's something to think about, One, there's your ego. Mm-hmm. I mean, nobody wants to be a pussy or be thought of. And you do think of it in a negative way if someone says, he's a wimp. But the reason that I think it's seen as negative is because fighting is part of nature. My dogs wrestle each other all day. Kangaroos fight out in the wild, and all animals do. It's instinctive. It's something. So when somebody is saying, dude, that guy can't fight, they're saying it as an insult. But at the same time, unless you are promoting your brand, why would you care? Unless you're going to attack me, in which case, then I want you to think I'm a great fighter and not attack me because I don't want to be attacked and I don't even want to fight unless I'm getting paid for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when you think about it, it's really, I think, just the ego that cares about your image. Even girls, if you say, like, you weren't scared, like, that she was going to kick your ass. What? Her? I I would kick her ass. I would, even girls. So it's not just a testosterone thing. It's something. It's something protective. Just like how we all want to claim that we're right, and there's no way we could be wrong, even if we are wrong. That thing that, or even if somebody says anything that's less than what we want to hear about ourselves, like if they say, "Dude, you're short." What? I'm not short. How tall are you? Like that defensive thing that comes out and says, "Boom!" Don't let them say that. Don't let them think about you in a less than perfect image, the way that you want them to see you. Mm-hmm. And when you think about it that way, it all seems like kind of unnecessary. So I was thinking about it, and sure, like growing up, it's important. And people that fight a lot or whatever, a lot of them care about their reputation. But you know what that is? You're building your reputation. What you're really doing in the professional world is you're pushing your brand. It's the same exact thing. Now, with my brand, I make money. When it comes down to my personal self, when I'm not wrestling, if we're just talking about RVD on a day off, Robert Zatkowski on a day off, and then you're and you want to question, like whether the guy, meaning me, would get his ass beat, or if he can fight, or anything like that. One, I have no control over what other people think of me anyway, and you really don't. But two, I wouldn't care, because my social reputation isn't as important as my brand. They're the same thing, except for brand, I make money. Reputation, nothing. What, get more challenges coming your way? That's what used to happen to the tough guys I remember in Battle Creek, like Troy Nesbitt and what was that other dude from Beetle Lake? Anyway, these guys were always fighting. And no, I certainly don't want to be known as one of those. That's a dangerous way to live as an adult, for sure. And people like that got to get locked up. You can't have people out on the street that are swinging every time they get a chance, left and right. And that's true. When it comes to deciding how you're going to behave, how you're going to respond when your ego is challenged. Like you grow up here, and don't let anybody disrespect you or your family or your mama. Don't ever say anything bad about the dead. Don't ever let anybody ever. There's never a reason to put your hands on a woman. You get told all this stuff, and as I always say, when you're an adult, you have to reprogram yourself. You have to revisit these areas with the values that you're going to carry as an adult, for the rest of your life. They're always developing, because your perspective changes, and that's always going to happen. That's a good thing, and it's necessary for balance. But reprogramming is important. I don't believe in absolutes. I can't say there's never a time for this, never a time for that. I can always come up with an exception if the conversation arises. But yeah, I just wanted to have the chance to talk about this from my perspective, to give you, the listeners, a chance to check yourselves. Some guys, like if they're say they're really small, they're little, and they know they would never fight. They're like, dude, I'm not a fighter, dude. Those are so few, at least in my world, over people that want everyone to think. And it's what road rage is. When people, boom, get in a crash and they come out screaming and shit, and like, what? Man, you better get in your car. I'm going to kick your ass. Oh, you ain't going to kick my ass. You better not put your hands on me. That's what I know. Everybody knows at that point that they're the best fighter, but really they want the other person to know, because they're screaming at them, telling them how tough they are. And really, I don't think you need to do that if you're tough. If you get in the situation, you can handle yourself, then good. Good luck to you. But I always like to think about how much is directed from the ego, and if that's a good thing or not. When decisions are made from any emotion, I don't think it's a good thing. Any kind of emotion, in particular, when it replaces logic. If you can use them both, great. But that's often not the case because they often don't like to be in the same room together, emotion and logic. Dude, your ego, it drives us, and it takes like a mental effort to look at the ego and really question, like, what is this driving force that makes me do this, that makes me stand up and say, well, I know I'm not the ugliest one in the room. No way. There's got to be someone uglier than me here. Like whatever it is, like we're afraid to be less than our ego thinks of ourselves. Think about that. And that's what I'm going to leave you with.
Great one, Rob. Great one. Yeah, I like that Scott Norton clip because it's funny. It's a funny clip, but on top of it, it does show you how you de-escalated the situation, basically. Like, Scott flipped up his sunglasses, and you kept him on, and you were just like, you were straightforward with him about all that stuff.
Like, dude, Scott, I don't know what you're talking about. You sound crazy right now. Yeah, the story will always say the exact same as many times as I tell it. And, I don't want to be known for someone that goes around fighting a lot. So I hope that, and I shouldn't be because I don't. But I don't think that's a good thing necessarily, unless that's what you're looking for. But thank God, we have outlets for it because it's dangerous to be out in these streets and be acting that way.
That's right. Hit a boxing bag or something, guys.
Something, yeah.
Something.
You get sued, then you go to jail, and then you start building up a record.
Right.
And really a lot of it is just anger taking over. And the reason you're angry is because your ego's hurt. This person doesn't know that you could kill him.
That's right.
Who cares?
Who cares?
This is one of those things that the more you can like really not give a fuck, I think the better off that you'll be. There's a lot of things like that. And I've talked about the book, The Simple Art, I think it's called, of
not giving a fuck.
It's not simple. What's the adjective?
I think it's just the art of not giving a fuck, or maybe I'm wrong.
Anyway, but
a fuck.
There's an adjective in there. The subtle art of not giving a fuck.
Yes, that's what I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Mark Kerr, the wrestler. No, Mark somebody. But anyway, Mark Manson. Thank you. I always recommend that if you haven't heard of it. There's even an audiobook on YouTube, and he just talks about it. And I think he makes a lot of sense. I agree with a lot of what he says, and a lot of stuff that we let drive us crazy really it doesn't matter nearly as much as we make it out to be. And in martial arts, we learn perspective by panning out, and picturing through meditating ourselves from a bird's eye view that just kept getting higher and higher until we're looking at the whole planet and thinking, how important are my problems looking at this whole thing, let alone even like just the city. But anyway, those are some beliefs that I've, pretty much held on to like since I can remember. So they're pretty sturdy, but the ego always gets out of control. You always got to check yourself. You have to. Nobody's a perfect master of their ego, or else nothing would insult them. Nothing that shouldn't matter to them and their goal and their agenda, which for a lot of people is to get over in society, And if I didn't have a profession where I could differentiate and turn it on and turn it off, I believe I'd be subject to the same thing.
Yeah, that's it. Always good to check your ego. It always is. You always be considerate. Is my ego kicking in? Is that what's going on? I got to be cognizant of that. I know that much. So, hey, we all do. We learned a lot today. Breathing, learned about ego, a lot of good stuff. Lots of good stuff. Cool, guys. Well, if you want some more RVD stuff, be sure to go to RVD, RobVanDam.com. You can get his rolling papers. Boom. Look at that. Scoop up some of them. You can also go to RVD 420 and get his glass, which they got some cool stuff there. Boom. 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 and then more too. So go to RVD 420 there. Greek Glass, based out of Pittsburgh. Shout out to those guys. So be sure to give them a little help. And hey, if you want a little bit of merchandise, go to onetruesport.com and look at that. You can get some cool RVD merch there. Somebody just bought that RVD one in the middle right there. So get the word out about that. Go to onetruesport.com and scoop up your RVD shirt, and we all benefit from it because a lot of the profit will go to the wrestlers themselves. So cool stuff, guys.
Yeah, cool stuff.
And see Rob this week, Iowa.
No,
Next week.
Idaho, not Iowa, right? Des
No,
Moines?
it's Iowa.
Oh,
Iowa.
I said it wrong. Des Moines, Iowa.
Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay,
Idaho.
Same thing.
Same thing. Starts
Okay,
with an
cool.
I.
Yeah, see you on the 22nd of September.
Yes. Thanks, everybody, for chiming in, too, with your questions. And appreciate everybody, their patronage and hanging out and just having a good time. So, guys. We'll
All
see you
right,
next
before we go, did you see the plastic bag on the head?
Yes. Oh, the Daniel Bryan thing? The Bryan
Yeah.
Danielson thing? Yes.
I guess, yeah. Is that what it was? Was Moxley doing it to Bryan Danielson?
Yes, he was. Boom. So that was the end of the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That was okay. Yeah, let's get your thoughts real quick on that, Rob. What did you think of that?
Well, I thought that you were probably going to bring it up and that you were going to ask if that was too much, in which case I was going to say, well, let's look at that question. Too much for what? Because I am seeing wrestling making all these changes, and so it is what it is. Is it too much for my preference? Maybe. Is it going maybe a little too far in the respect that we don't want kids playing with plastic bags? It says right on the bag, this shit is not to be used as a toy. I guess John Moxley didn't read that, and it's a bit far and extreme. And if you look at it that way, as far as like kids could take after it, and did they kill him? But like I said, is it too far for what they're doing? Well, obviously not. So what I'm seeing is wrestling really like being about different things than it used to be, and so I'm curious. And I'm and going to be paying attention, starting to exactly how it's evolving at this stage, from the different companies, because I'm seeing it become something. And as far as that with AEW, is it going to be more about like a live action movie that you're watching, witnessing in that venue? I don't know. So definitely, I just thought it was worth talking about, and I think it's pretty far. I wouldn't want a plastic bag on my head. I know that, but again, is it too far for what they're doing? No, and they're driving us and the business in a certain direction that they are doing. So I look at it that way.
Yeah, because I would think when they did the plastic bag spot, they did that years ago with Terry Funk and Ric Flair way back in the day. Yeah, and that caught a lot of. I know they got a lot of ire back then about it, and now, it's causing a lot of people people were freaked out about it. Everything. I was kind of like, I wouldn't want a plastic bag on my head. That's always like kind of whatever. But it's also like, I don't know. It's like they're pushing the envelope a little bit and trying to make it stand out, and that sure stood out. So does it help?
And the burning of the house, is kind of like also something in that direction, So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
we're they're going to show us what they're doing as they're doing it. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to be a critic and say no, they shouldn't be doing that. But would I do that? Or like I said, do I want that done to me? No, and I didn't see the burning of the house. I've just heard about it, and
I enjoyed that.
Maybe you did tell me last week.
I did. I told you last week. I enjoyed it.
Well, so again, is that going to be more about like you're watching like a drama, and I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what they decide to do. They're edging up on a TV deal here. It seems pretty promising that they're going to get one with Turner again, and so The boat. What's the thing? The boat raises all tides. Can you say it again, Rob?
All the opposite. High tide raises all boats.
I love that quote. I love that quote.
Yeah, and so the wrestling's business is good now, and that's why we got millions and millions of people watching this podcast right now on the peripherals. Here we are hanging out. RVD show. One of a kind.
One of a kind.
All right, cool. I just want to bring that up, but let's go ahead and finish the see you later bye byes.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Shoot. Bye.
See
See you.
Okay, bye. See you.
Bye. See you.